TVZ. Love this matchup. And let's introduce our first player in the bottom left here, hailing from Jinek Green Wings and Korea. This is Rogue.
And up here in the top right-hand side, in the red, the Terran player, he is SpeCial.
Now, Pig, you gotta take it easy, because if you get really good at growling, your analysis actually makes me look like a completely bad caster, so all of a sudden, I'm not gonna be out of a job, all right? Because that's kind of my thing. I don't know if you've noticed.
All right, we'll have to divvy that one up.
Yeah, you know, you can do a little bit here, a little bit there. I like to dabble into analysis as well myself every now and then.
I like to be the Simba to your Mufasa, you know. I'll throw a little growl out there, but you've got the big daddy growl.
I got the Mufasa growl, you got the Simba growl?
Yeah.
Well, we all know that Simba grows up to a very handsome lion later in the movie.
One day, that's what I aim
Spoilers for The Lion King, by the way. Simba does have a very manly growl towards the end.
And speaking of manly growls, we're going into blue shift here, and these players are going to be bringing out...
Nice segue.
Amazing segues today. That's what we've got. A barracks on the low ground, though, from SpeCial is what I really wanted to bring our attention towards. Rogue's just kind of gone hatch first, a very standard opening, but this is cool. So I think SpeCial here looking to get that wall off up on the low ground very early. And not just that, but it is, of course, going to be a very early Reaper. Barracks into gas. So that Reaper's going to get over there very fast and going to be looking to try and get on a little bit of harassment damage. I believe SpeCial was saying he's got some special builds. And, I mean, that's what you expect, right? He's such a clever player, and he's such good friends with TY. We saw in the Signature Series, you know, they're always using the same builds. We actually heard that last year, after he was eliminated in, of course, the semi-finals of BlizzCon, that he purposely did not want to show any of the builds him and TY had been practicing together, because TY also had to play a Terran versus Zerg match. And I mean, that's something where these two are so close.
Yeah. So
no doubt they've been working on some special strategies together.
They're very closely matched in skill. TY with a lot more results, obviously, but they are great friends. They practice together a lot and have very similar styles. I remember even in Leipzig when I first saw that Hellbat ghost timing in TVZ, that was apparently a TY creation that SpeCial, I think, pulled out against Snoot, if memory serves me, from like earlier in the year. It was a long time ago. So
yeah, such a cool build, that one. I absolutely loved it. And the Reaper is going to come in and, of course, begin the dance, but Rogue, as always, on top of that micro, pulling those weakened Zerglings to the rear, allowing time for the Queen to pop out, the drone staying protected all the ways throughout there. And it is just going to be a factory and a reactor behind this. So SpeCial, of course, is going to have that up. And he's got that single Marine out behind the wall as well. You know, Blue Shift's an interesting map, because I find there's this sort of 3-lane system across the map, and a lot of Terran players want to start setting up these pushes, and if you can get the right angle, we sometimes just see siege tanks in the right spot, just blast the Zerg to pieces. We saw it, of course, at the start of yesterday's games with Maru versus Lambo on this map, and it really comes down to, are you going to be able to gain that position as the Terran player?
Looks like Rogue is feeling like a bunch of Lings right now, and that is a lot more than you need to hold off those Hellions. 16 more Lings to join already. Looks like to be the 8 that he's already got out here on the map. Rogue is not sure of this wall yet, and when he sees this wall, he might be a little bit disappointed. He's like, oh, that's a natural that's going to be tough to break with a bunch of Lings.
Yeah, that's something you want to do, because normally there's no wall off up at this timing. Now, don't get me wrong, he can still potentially surround the Hellions, do some damage, but this is not going to be as easy to get in and do damage as he would have liked. So SpeCial perhaps foretelling that this might be something Rogue's been practicing on the ladder. You know, there's a lot of scouting each other out before these tournaments. You're trying to find out which accounts your opponents are playing against on the ladder, what builds they've been practicing, all that sort of jazz.
Now, the factory is switched off with the barracks here, so SpeCial's going to try and get a couple of Marines out back at home, but right now he's completely naked. He does bring up the wall.
Ooh.
Yeah,
and I think SpeCial realizes the Lings are on the other side of the map. He's going to try and dive in here. He's going to look for a lot of work kills. There's no Zerglings at home, Maynard.
And the Lings are actually just coming home now. Rogue's army quite useless at the moment, running through the middle of the map. The Queens are coming in, but not before. It looks like 8 or 9 drones are going to go down here for SpeCial's Hellions. He's going to have to try and escape. That's so many Lings, though. The Reaper Grenade holding him out a little bit. Nice position in between the minerals here for some splash damage. But 11 drones have gone down, Pig, and that's absolutely worth it for these 4 Hellions.
Nice, especially remember, Rogue already invested so much of his early money and lava into that big wave of Zerglings rather than economy. When you build that many units and you do no damage to your opponent, you cannot afford to take 11 drone losses this early. This opening is so smooth for SpeCial. The Cloaked Banshees are going to come in with the follow-up. Rogue has been very on point, though. He's got the Spore Crawlers almost ready. Actually,
late.
Ooh, there's going to be a few seconds where these drones are exposed.
And there goes that Cloak. No lair here from Rogue, no Overseer. That Spore's about to finish, but it looks like 3 more drones are going to go down before that Spore dies. Oh man, that really sucks for Rogue, man. He's chilling on a 35 drone economy against a 43 worker Terran here, who's got a third base about to finish up.
Oh, and this Banshee's just finding more and more damage, forcing out even a fourth Spore Crawler out in the no man's land. And that Banshee going to continue to look for stray drones all over the map. Behind this, it is a third command center, 2 engineering bays, and a Raven on the way for SpeCial. He's going to be starting a second. No, he's going to land the factory. Okay. I thought, I was like, is this biomech? No. It's going to be the bio transition. So there's going to be a Raven for clearing up creep. That way, every single energy on the command center goes into mules. That's going to boost his mineral income. And he's going to have a very strong bio push after such a clean start. I think he might even be going for a little marine tank move out. I think it's just to establish the third, because with this style, I mean, what is it, like 2 minutes from now before your first medevacs hit the field?
I think that at the moment, I completely agree with you. It's just about securing that third base. Moving out with this army right now would be a massive gamble from SpeCial. He really wants to get a lot more production happening, maybe even a second factory out before he moves out on in the middle of the map. Because, I mean, we see that Roach is not actually, Rogue is going for Roaches here and not actually going for Linkbane Hydra, which a lot of Zergs like to do in this matchup. Roaches can be quite powerful. He got that double Evo chamber, but hasn't started these upgrades just yet. So at the moment, the Terran is not only enjoying a army and worker lead and same bases as the Zerg, he's also going to be enjoying an upgrade league for a while as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can already see into the future here. 1-1 starting for Rogue. I mean, while he's even on 1-1 upgrades, it's going to be okay. But when 2-2 kicks in, when you talked about that second factory potentially coming in a bit later, siege tank count growing, that's going to be huge. And already the Raven and the Banshees, very, very risk-free way to cut into the creep spread, slow all of this down. I love this movement from SpeCial.
Yeah.
No risks at all, because all of his immobile units, the Marines and tanks, are just chilling at home. Stim and shields is on the way. Tank production starting to ramp up. The armory is super well timed, so we can start 2-2 immediately. And SpeCial already enjoying a nice supply lead. 3 bases fully saturated. Interestingly enough, though, he hasn't taken the 6th gas or extra factories, and indeed, there we go. 3 extra barracks go down. And a mistake second armory. He's actually forgotten he already built his armory.
Yeah,
that's a mistake, 100%.
It has to be. It's a little bit weird. He only needs the 1. I mean, you can get double upgrades for mech if you really want to, but that's a lot of money you'd rather be spending on like extra tank production. Potentially Marauders being thrown as well. You see that SpeCial is getting ready for the Roach composition here of Rogue. The other benefit of the Marauders is it soaks up Banelings as well, so when they hit the field, which Rogue is going for, by the way, Bailey Nest coming out back at home, they can be quite nice at tanking that damage. Nice changeling here from Rogue. He's like,
I'm a part of the crew, man.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
No, my gun's malfunctioning. That's why I wasn't shooting those rocks. Don't worry.
I got a jam SpeCial. I'm sorry, man. I'm a real Marine, I promise. but Combat Shield's about to finish up, and when Combat Shield finishes and this Marine bio count's looking quite nice, I'm not going to be surprised to see SpeCial start to drop out on the map here, potentially hitting one of those bases with these Banshees that are still alive.
I mean, look at the creep spread as well, right, Maynard? It really just is the Banshee Raven cleanup before. It's so slow to get out there. Any swap into Ling Bane is not going to work well against this. And, I mean, look at the upgrades. 2-2's well underway. Concussive shells, an extra reactor and tech lab coming down. There's going to be 4 Marauders being built at a time against Roach Ravager Baneling.
And this army of Rogue does not beat the army of SpeCial here, especially with that Raven potentially being able to hit with an armor missile.
Yeah, SpeCial's being super careful because he's like, wait, you don't even have great creep spread. Right now, we're even on upgrades. There's no reason for me to fight. If I wait until I'm max or closer to max, wait until 2-2 is about 2/3 of the way done, that's SpeCial's moment. What SpeCial can do is he can secure a 4th base, maybe an extra factory or starport, but most importantly, a 4th base and just non-stop rally bio behind a 180, 190 supply of just Marine Marauder tank. And it's already starting early.
Wow.
He sees this 4th base. He knows he's got a good angle. That's a lot of Ravagers that he sees. He's got to be really careful to protect his siege tanks from those corrosive vials.
He certainly does. Full energy on this Raven, though, and a lot more tanks from SpeCial. Rogue is going to go for some drop play up to the north-hand side of the map here, but at the moment, he has to bring all his tension down here on this fight. Looks like one of the Banshees come down there. The corrosive vial is actually connecting with one of them, but the tanks, look at all the creep spread denial. Because of this creep spread denial, SpeCial has a lot of extra room to breathe up here with his Terran army. Pre-split and ready to fight. Rogue is in trouble, and he needs to come in and take this fight really well here, or he's going to lose this base.
Oh no, Bane speed, slow Banelings. This Zerg army looking helpless against this Terran onslaught. SpeCial just moving forward. The Marines dodging the corrosive vials. The Banelings and Ravagers just washing up on this army of high-tech Terran units. The units are getting stimmed down very low, though. The medevacs can't keep up with the rate that their stim packs are being used.
He keeps applying the armor debuff here on these Ravagers. +2 attack just finishes. His bias even more powerful. He's breaking through. Rogue is in so much trouble. He's rallying everything from the natural. Let's coming in single file. Peacefield here. GG! The Mexican Terran SpeCial takes game 1 against the reigning world champion Rogue.
Wow, what a way to start the series there. A very nice opening, and Rogue has got to be a little bit annoyed after that early game, going for a Link Blood without even scouting the wall off. He didn't realize the barracks down there on the low ground. There was already a wall prepared. I mean, that wall was up so fast, it would have stopped anything even a minute before that. So the Zerglings, of course, not finding any purchase at home. And those Hellions just roasted so much economy. And it's good decisiveness. SpeCial spotted the Lings poking his natural wall. He said, hey, you're not going to get through there. I can just repair that. Immediately dove into the main base, seeing it was undefended, took out a lot of workers, a lot of lost mining time, and then just had a very methodical game from there. We did not expect it to go this way at all. A bit of damage early, good defense, and just such an easy mid-game push for SpeCial to close it out with.
I actually just love that natural wall in from SpeCial. It's something that I stole. Like another thing that I stole from SpeCial is back when Backwater was in the map pool. I would just do that wall in. You know, you get those 3 bases.
Oh
you
yeah.
just wall in the natural. So put first barracks down there every time. Factory down there as well.
That map, I do miss that one a little bit actually.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because this comes in and out of the meta, and I feel like the really clever Terrans, they mix this in once in a while. Because if you do this too much, it's vulnerable, right? Like certain Ravager pressures are like, oh, your production's right there. You don't even have a high ground to rely on.
That is the weakness.
It's like one base Ravager just gets a free, a free win on that. You take out the depots on the low ground. The barracks is just out in the open, as is the factory. But, SpeCial managed to get a small edge there, blocked out any chance of sneaky Ling run by. And Rogue here, I mean, he's the favorite, but he did open up with that Ling Flood, and it kind of speaks to his psychology, right? He's going out, he wants to put pressure on, he says, look, I'm probably going to catch you off guard, this is going to get a bit of momentum. Even if it doesn't work perfectly, it should be all right. What are the chances your opponent dives in and punishes you that hard like SpeCial did?
Yeah, and we've been talking about SpeCial a lot here, but to talk on Rogue a little bit more, to follow what you were saying, Pig, Rogue was looking amazing at the beginning of the year, and actually very recently, in the last couple online tournaments, he's been looking really good too. But for the past 6 months, he has been playing a little weird. He's been doing stuff that's very unpredictable and strange. Even in GSL, it seems like he's experimenting, and I was like, come on, man, it's a GSL. You have to, bring in your big guns here. But speaking of which, hopefully you can time of the series. This guy in the top right from Generic Green Wings, it is Rogue.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand side, in the red, the Terran player. His name is SpeCial.
SpeCial. Juan Carlos Tena Lopez. Such a great WCS Signature Series video as well.
Yeah.
Really made me root for him. Like, I just feel like I've spoken to SpeCial a couple times, but it's always been like, surface stuff like, how's your day been? What'd you have for your lunch? Are you feeling confident? How you doing?
How's the Pokemon going?
Yeah, how's your Pokemon going? You still addicted? What's your username going to be next year? Standard questions that you'd ask SpeCial. But that Signature Series really got to dive into like where he came from. Like, well, I mean, all of them are like that. That you get to see where they come from.
But it's how much he's committed to it, right?
Yeah,
like that's really been the story.
Yeah, how crushed he was after Pro League folded and he got off Team 8, and that was his dream the whole time, was playing Pro League, and he didn't do what he wanted to do. And I mean, he still has those dreams alive. And
well, it's been such a turnaround in his career, especially, isn't it? Because we saw him as the guy who had talent, but it wasn't actualized. It was never played out to its fullest extent. We're like, yeah, he's really good. He's one of the best practice partners, but when it counted, when the pressure was on, he wasn't able to deliver. Now, whether that was nerves, choking under pressure, or just not really being disciplined enough mentally to finish it out, there were so many times going back 5 years where he was almost beating some of the best players in the world in the very old WCS America circuit, and he'd lose the rematch and get knocked out in the group stage. And it would happen time and again. But he's managed to turn that around. He's managed to become a more disciplined player. And starting out with a 1-0 lead against Rogue has got to be a big confidence booster. Now, this is where I want to see Rogue just lock things down and play a very standard Zerg Terran. He is one of the best in the world at it. You said it. He's been playing experimentally lately, playing some slightly odd strategies out there. But amidst that are these near perfect macro games. Like, reactively, he is splendid. He practices with Maru all day, and maybe that is part of why he does so many cheeky things in this matchup, because when you're playing Maru, you need to. But honestly, even in a just straight-up macro game, I often see Rogue go toe-to-toe with players like Maru, so...
Yeah, that's kind of why I get so confused by Rogue's choices in a few of these series recently, in like the last, 3 or 4 months I'm talking about. Like, not recent, but 3 or 4 months ago. He's just so good at just playing this matchup. And we saw a pretty quick third base there from Rogue, but even more impressively, we're seeing a very quick third base here from SpeCial. And I mean impressive in the sense that it's very, very greedy. So he's hiding that there in the bottom of the main base. Overlord's not anywhere near it, and he's just starting that switch over there on the factory to the reactor to get some Hellions for some map control.
It's a confident build, you know, it forces you into the mid stages. It definitely does allow you to get away with a bit of a faster economy boost than you might otherwise get in some scenarios. And this is very powerful if you're confident in that mid game. Now, this is weak on smaller maps if the Zerg opts for something very aggressive, if they spot it. But we notice that command center is hidden in the far south. It's hidden in that corner. The second gas was not spotted by Rogue. Rogue has been playing very conservatively with his first Overlords. It's only going in now to try and scout that production. And there's a good chance he doesn't spot that command center. The Marine is there, ready to take it down. So this is just SpeCial saying, let's skip the early game. Lost and Found has a long rush distance. Not a good chance you're going to punish this. And he's going to go into those Hellions and most likely a safety Banshee or two. Maybe do some pressure with them as well. It's a good way to stop any sort of roach aggression or anything that comes in the mid game and allows you to just clear up creep, pick a few drones off, that sort of thing.
The Overlord's diving onto the 1-1-1 here to make sure that he's seeing what he's seeing. He wants to see if Cloak's being researched. That's very important to see with the Overlord. And it is, in fact, being researched here from Rogue. The Reaper is back at home here for SpeCial as well. Not getting a whole ton of information from the other side of the map. It's a little bit weird that the Reaper's at home. But, he, you know, I guess better safe than sorry. But I feel like that really needs to be active on the map. Not only taking Rogue's attention away, but also scouting and seeing what the Zerg's doing. Like if a Baneling Nest gets dropped or a Roach Warren gets dropped or something like that. You need to know about that as quickly as possible for the Terran to be as careful as possible. But as the Banshees and the Hellion count gets higher, he's pretty safe against most things in the early stages from Zerg.
That Overlord will finally be punished. SpeCial says, all right, you can spy on my base, but I will actually punish you for that one. A couple of Cyclones being added in here, and that makes me think there is a decent chance of mech. However, Tech Lab on the barracks makes me think, nah, this is kind of like, I think it might have been Innovation who had a build like this where he was going Hellion Cyclone pressure into bio off the back of it. So gonna keep my eyes on the follow-up, see what SpeCial's doing, but this definitely gives you a much scarier pressure, allows you to slow down and snipe a very fast fourth from the Zerg if they're going for it. And sometimes you can just roll through them with this gigantic delayed Hellbat Cyclone, so it's going to force a big response at the very least.
Economically, SpeCial did get that fast at third base, but Rogue has been droning like a madman, and he hasn't had to worry about these Hellions hitting him and hitting his drone lines. The Banshees even haven't really gone further than that edge of the creep. Rogue's pretty locked down here. And his economy is about where he wants it to be. Like, it's very, very close. You can see he's going for that Roach Tech again. Baneling Nest is finished up beforehand, and he's starting to get those Lings up because it's about that time when Terran wants to hit the field running and try and cancel or potentially kill a fourth base.
So there's going to be 4 Cyclones in this pressure, and 2 more factories do go down, so it is indeed going to be that mech transition on the way for SpeCial. Wants to be going for lots of armor, lots of tanks, lots of Hellions, but for now, it's 4 Cyclones, 6 Hellbats, and a Raven. Auto turrets could be huge with this pressure. This is going to be very scary. The Roach Warren's not ready just yet.
Rogue let the wall down and kept it down by putting his Ling on top of it. SpeCial desperately tried to kill that Ling, but Rogue kept it down. Nice play here from Rogue, and he's in the natural. Unfortunately, those Lings not being micro very well, getting pushed back. The Raven as well not being micro very well. Takes a lot of damage, but he keeps it alive for now. The Banelings are here, but obviously with no speed. And with these Cyclones and Hellions being here, it's going to be very tough for Rogue to win this fight.
Oh, the Banelings looking for the contact on the Hellbats, and they do manage to get 3 of those Hellbats down. 2 more heavily wounded.
Nice!
Wow, that's a massacre. So much damage. SpeCial has to do more with this. And those Queens taking big damage, but the anti-armor missile wears off. They've managed to evade that scary moment where they're very vulnerable. And whilst they are taking damage, the Lings are starting to rally out. And with that, Rogue holds on, crushes it.
Rogue hitting him on the other side of the map with just a really small amount of Lings, all things considered. Just SpeCial wasn't looking for a second there. Rogue punished him for it. And even though, like you said, there was a scary moment there with that armor-seeking missile taking the debuff there on his Queens, the Cyclones, their DPS is pretty insane. But Rogue just was so patient, pulled all the way back to his third. He's like, come and take you for a walk, mate. All the way down here to the third base. Give me some time to get my armor back on these Queens. Then get those extra few units out and hold you easy peasy. That was very nicely done from the Korean Zerg.
Yeah, the Dorito cannon there, you know, it's a really nice pressure. I believe he also had some more Cyclones that maybe got surrounded by Zerglings on the map or something like that, because he was building a 3rd and 4th and they never reached the Zerg side of the map. Rogue swung in on the 3rd mineral line as well, and that's always a very frustrating way to lose as a Terran player. You've got this whole plan starting to come together and it's like, oh, just 1 Zergling sitting on that depot. You've got no fighting units. Your SCVs, you could see he pulled about 8 SCVs. They finally killed the Zergling, but by that time, the reinforcements had arrived. The door was down, and his next Hellions were just way too slow to get out of the factory. So Rogue there with a very precise dismantling of SpeCial ties up the series 1-1. And the next map will decide the winner of this series.
Both these players have made their respective wins look very simple. Like this very clear cut, nothing crazy, just going to go and play my regular style and get a victory. You know, SpeCial didn't put a whole lot of resources into a couple of those Banshees and that Raven. He did so much creep damage, did so much drone damage with 4 Hellions. And Rogue, just a handful of Lings, managed to clear out an entire mineral line and then some. And let's introduce the players. Once again, the top left, the reigning world champion, currently on match point. This is Generic Greenwings, Rogue.
And down here in the bottom right-hand side of Acid Plant in the red, the Terran, he is SpeCial. He looks more relaxed than I'm used to seeing him. I think hitting that semi-finals last year was definitely a big confidence booster for SpeCial, a big moment in his career. And we've seen him, you know, we keep talking about it, but the last year or two, he's become a lot more stable, a lot more steady. He's not just, you know, showing 1 or 2 good games in a tournament, but it's a protracted experience. You know, it's very, very strong, consistent play. Rogue, of course, very, very clever as well. Very good with those Zerglings. Managing to take that one down. This is also a large map, similar to Lost and Found. Some nice ledges, some paths where players can push.
Yeah.
And the build orders, once again, are going to be something I'm keeping my eyes on because I think Rogue was playing very standard last game. You know, it was a small counterattack of Zerglings. This was not a big commitment. And he also wasn't pushing his drones crazy hard. He was very much trying to feel out what SpeCial was going for.
Yeah.
And he was playing quite safe, which, keeping in mind, SpeCial was on 3 command centers. If he got that third landed and established as fast as he was going for, there was a very real threat of SpeCial just running away with that game because he would have had too much economy behind that push. So I think Rogue here might just come in with another standard play, maybe going to scout a little bit more. He has been known to mix in Overlord speed. We'll have to keep his eyes on that production tab.
Yeah, I think the only time he's managed to do that was in the first game. He got Overlord speed with the intention to drop, I think, you know, just a group of Lings into the main base of SpeCial on Blue Shift, but he didn't even get that far. Unfortunately, had an entire Terran army at his doorstep to worry about. This map's not amazing for Reapers, but the Reaper is still very necessary in the early stages of the game to get that scouting information. He's just looking for Overlords here. You can see that SpeCial is getting that that Marine first, and before getting that Reaper across the map. I mean, the other thing the Reaper could be potentially scouting for is a proxy of some kind, like the hatchery variety, but that's a very strange thing to do in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looked like he was looking for it,
yeah,
didn't he?
A little bit.
I'm like, you know what? It's BlizzCon. We've seen a few of these one-sided matches where one player just gets an edge, runs away with it, because these players have been thinking about these builds for a while. They've known the groups for a month or more. They've been really practicing for their opponents, figuring them out. And they've got such good, tight plans. I think SpeCial there said, you know what, there's a chance a tricky guy like Rogue pulls out a weird proxy hatchery build. So you can see SpeCial respecting his opponent, playing very safe, and actually playing the exact same opening as that last game. Third command center, only then goes for the second gas in his main base. And I'm sure we'll see, of course, that's, yeah, Starport goes down. It's the exact same build as far as we can tell from SpeCial. Notice he doesn't build Hellion straight away, because he's spent all the minerals on the command center and then the starport. So his Hellion presence is much lighter with this, but realistically, Zergs are so good at protecting their creep spread with the queens, it doesn't change too much. It just allows you to get up your bigger economy, bigger tech.
And also, once again, just like the last game, Rogue just has a Ling patrolling at the third base location. He did that on Lost and Found as well, and I was wondering why he was doing that. It just seemed like a Rogue thing to do. The Reaper coming back here, finds that Ling, should be able to take him out, no problem. Ling speed done for Rogue, so just gets out of there with 4 hit points. See you later.
He was taunting the Marine. This is the Zergling that runs up and starts hurling insults at the opponent. Psychological warfare from that Zergling.
So, oi mate, come out your main. It's safe out here, I promise.
Yeah, no, I don't have any mates, definitely not. Hey, Rochorn's gonna go down again here for Rogue. Rogue did have a struggle recently against Terran players when he wasn't sure if they were gonna play mech or bio. He likes playing against mech. He's one of the best anti-mech players, but he likes to try and get a head start on it and already have the roaches out. I feel like against bio, the way he opens with this heavy Roach Ravager, like on Blue Shift, not as strong of a way to start things out. So I think Rogue's going to be fishing for some more information and trying to really feel out what the next step is for SpeCial.
Yeah, I feel like when you're a bio tank kind of guy, or just a bio guy in TVZ, you are more afraid of Ling Bane than you are of Roach Ravager. It's a unit composition that scales well for a while, but if you're not up 40 or 50 army supply, it's really tough to win a fight against like a 2-2 bio army with medevac support.
There's like a tipping point, right, where the unit composition becomes very weak. So Rogue has to be careful about overcommitting to the Roach Ravager and getting caught where you're trying to swap back into Ling Bane, but you can't quite make it there in time.
Rogue going for some Dropper Lords here, spicing things up again with that Overlord speed. You mentioned this, Pig, and we're going to see it here from Rogue. SpeCial is showing signs of going towards mech again, just again with that Hellion and Cyclone push with the armory behind us and potentially Hellbats in the front line. And Rogue is actually looking to force the reaction from SpeCial here.
Yeah, you know, I think Rogue has just made a hard read. And that is when you see a small piece of information and you make a big conclusion from it. In this case, I think Rogue has just said to himself, look, I think you're going mech. I've seen your third command center with my Overlord poking in. And look at it. He's like, I'm going to drop in the back there. I'm going to try and drop 2 sides. So he's going to go Queens at the front, Roach Ravager Zergling, 8lings in the main. He's just going to try and break SpeCial. He knows there's no tanks out. The Banshee's not going to be much help against the Queens in that Overlord. This is a very scary assault. One we've seen SpeCial, fall to once or twice in the past as well.
Oh! Ooh! Lings in the main base with that Overlord, and they're doing a lot of SCV damage. SpeCial's attention being split here. Do the Banshees have Cloak, actually? That would definitely help out against these Queens, because if they don't, no, they don't. Oh, this is terrible for SpeCial. He's going to be in so much trouble. Rogue coming down with plenty of energy, and these Queens, they're being transfused. There's an Armor-Seeker missile hitting the Roaches and the Ravagers and a few of the Lings as well. SpeCial pulling the boys to hold on, but does he have enough?
The Hellbats are doing work in here, as are the Cyclones. A couple of Biles do start to land. More Lings coming in, but there's still enough Hellbats remaining for now. If those Hellbats run out, though, that's where the Ling Reinforce will crush the Cyclones. For now, SpeCial has held. He's lost 23 SCVs. That might seem disastrous, and in a different game it would be. But here, with 3 orbital command centers landed with a ton of economy, SpeCial is still healthy, but he's got to stop the next wave. Those Ravagers still pressuring on the south side, and you know what? Rogue is still holding down the Roach trigger. He's not building any drones. He's sending another Zergling drop to the main, and he's preparing a second wave of assault on the front. Those Ravagers continuing to harass as well, but the Banshee going to get a little bit of revenge.
Yeah, she's going to get these Ravagers by the looks of things here, but Rogue with this follow-up is looking to actually just break through SpeCial. SpeCial's in the middle of getting extra production right now. Those Lings are in the main against from another Overlord drop, and more SCVs going to go down. SpeCial can lose some SCVs and still be okay here, just like before.
Yeah.
But the attack is what I'm worried about here. It looks like Rogue's actually pulling the pin on this. He's like, oh no, I can't. The Banshee's here.
He lost all the Queens before. This second wave stopped in its tracks. A disastrous turn of events there. That Banshee just being the counter to that push, and Rogue realizing, wait, if I've already lost 3 of my Ravagers, I can't achieve anything. Instead, he's looking for the economy damage, and he is finding some nice little bits of it, slowing down SpeCial. That's very valuable, because behind this, Rogue has got 3 bases mining. He's starting to add on some other things. Interestingly, SpeCial here going for both infantry weapons and vehicle weapons. I think that might be a misclick on that engineering bay in the chaos.
He did it last game as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did it last game as well. And he's
Biomech? Wow.
Whoa. Hero Marine tried to do something like this in Valencia, right? He got the double armory, double engineering bay. We were thinking that that second armory was a mistake. Maybe it's something a little bit of a, you know, a little bit stylistic there for SpeCial. Oh no, wait, he went double armory on Lost and Found. Never mind, my bad. But this sort of hybrid unit style is generally not used in this matchup, and a lot of reason why it's not is because it really weakens one side or the other.
Yeah.
If you go for part bio, part mech, then either your bio side or mech side is going to suck. Usually.
Yeah. I mean, if we think about this, right, this strategy is so interesting because you're thinking about how efficient Zergs have become at countering mech, right? They're like, yep, let's just make Roaches rush up into Hydras and Vipers. And that's a composition which just doesn't do that well versus Bio. So this is a very tricky build where SpeCial is trying to just confuse Rogue. He's trying to get him to commit really hard, thinking it's mech, and then bam, he's swapping into Bio. He's going to try and get out a ton of Marines. He's going for double engineering bays, but Rogue is coming in with some pressure.
Rogue comes in with these 4 roaches, decides not to do it. He sees a barracks being built here and is like, hang on a minute, what is this? He's making 9 Swarm Hosts. Now, Swarm Hosts are really fantastic against mech. They're one of the best tools in the Zerg arsenal to fight against mech. A mixture of Swarm Hosts with Roach Ravager could potentially be what he needs here to fight against this sort of wacky army composition that SpeCial's going for. And at the moment, it just looks like he's going for regular bio tank, just with a much faster +1 attack upgrade on that tank. In come those roaches. They force the delay on a couple of these barracks here, and they're going to get some SCVs.
Nice. That is very, very nice, because this is the transition point. SpeCial needs those barracks up, and he needs his SCV lines going healthy. He should have had an economy lead, but these little bits of follow-up pressure from Rogue, and even utilizing Burrow, so annoying from the Zerg player, of course. The reigning champion, he's been there for a reason. I mean, the scary threat here for Rogue is those Swarm Hosts are great versus mech, but it's bio that's on the way. You get out to enough 2-2 bio with Medivacs, you don't care about Swarm Hosts. That's dead supply right there. 30 supply, even more Swarm Hosts on the way. Rogue, if he can keep hitting and get SpeCial down before the upgrades kick in, before the bio hits critical mass, this is very scary for SpeCial. But if SpeCial can weather the storm, get enough bio up, suddenly Roach Swarm Host looks like utter garbage. It is bad versus a big bio army.
You're absolutely right. The Marines DPS those Locusts out of the sky, and with the Medivacs killing those Marines, they generally tank through it. Speaking of tanks, we have a bunch of Locusts swarming on top of them. One of them is about to go down. 2 of them go down very quickly. Third one goes down. Juicy. And that's a very juicy Locust wave there from Rogue. Getting 3 tanks, always quite nice. SpeCial, really, the Overlord drop play here from Rogue has really been hitting the economy of SpeCial quite hard. He gets a scan, and he's going to get one of the roaches by the looks of things, but the other one might survive here. Another roach burrow play here. Oh, it's going to come in range of this turret, though. The tanks are going to hit it.
Yeah, this on burrow, they will be able to take out 1 tank, but they're going to pay the price for that. Those roaches, most of them going down. A few Marines are counterattacking the left-hand side. I like this from SpeCial. Wants to put some counter pressure on. He's sick of sitting in his corner of the map. He realizes that Rogue is no doubt cutting some corners behind this absolute map control that he's got going. And that's an undefended base, Maynard. He's getting right in there. The drone's going down already. 10 workers killed, and he can move into the main base. But another Locust wave coming in.
Not many Marines.
Yeah, the Hellbats do a good job, but still losing multiple siege tanks and a lot of Ravagers left over. There's no tanks guarding that base anymore.
The turret takes a lot of damage, still alive. SpeCial looks like he's going to have to give up the main base here. This Medevac's so low, the Queens! Ooh. Not target firing the Medevacs are going to stay alive for now. The Marines all unload here, and they're fighting the Queens, who don't have many transfusions left.
Yep.
But he doesn't have enough damage here, and not enough Marines to fight back. Rogue still pressing the issue here with the Roach Ravager and the Swarm Host. SpeCial holding on for dear life, and I mean, there's just no signs of him getting a 4th base at the moment. Rogue's starting to build up that bank because he's maxed out, basically.
I mean, Rogue's worker count is weak. It's only at 56 drones, but I was talking about how he's got to get the damage in now before the critical mass of bio hits, and that's what he's doing. SpeCial's chipping away behind, but it's not enough, because every time these Locusts come in, the siege tanks are falling. That time, though, the Locusts evaporated. The Marine count is getting very scary. Combat Shield's about to kick in. He's still doing damage on the other side of this. SpeCial making the most of a terrible situation here. The siege tanks and Marines valiantly trying to hold on. That's a lot of Roach Ravager, but for now, SpeCial hangs on. A ton of SCVs have fallen in the meantime, though.
No way! This hatchery's getting so low, it's gonna die! These roaches need to hatch! The roaches are coming through, but Rogue's gonna lose a base. That's such a huge pick up there for SpeCial. SpeCial is losing a lot of workers back at home. He's down at 37 now, and he has got double tank production on, though. That double tank production has been really saving his bacon on the other side of the map there.
Yeah, a lot of SCVs went down on that third, though. I think there was a wave of Biles that hit. Nice little Ravager counterattack here. And the Roaches, Ravagers, Swarm Hosts. Only 50 drones for Rogue, but those Swarm Hosts just don't trade out. It's free units coming out of them every wave. And until SpeCial gets up the critical mass to just totally shut them down, he is going to struggle.
Too many Marines.
Yeah.
Look at these Marines cut through those Locusts. The siege tank splash damage actually helping out Rogue a little bit here against those Marines. But look how many tanks are here. This Roach Ravager will not be able to break this line. SpeCial has too much. He's going to push Rogue back for the third again.
He's going to hold on for now, but he keeps on bleeding out little bits of units, and you can see Ravager, Biles coming in, that command center getting sieged down. Rogue has so many expansions to mine from. Even though his worker count's not great, he is still struggling to finish off SpeCial. SpeCial, on the other hand, he just can't manage to get up enough army, and he's got Overlords dropping creep all over any potential fourth base. He's trying to push back this creep in the middle so he can gain a little bit of position, but there we go, the Swarmos have refilled, and they're ready. Yet another wave. Rogue has locked himself into a winning pattern right now, and he's going to go for it again. Yeah, the Marines are good against Locusts, but there's more Locusts than there are Marines, and their damage is insane.
You're absolutely right. This wave looking a lot better. 2-2 about to finish. There it is for these Locusts, these Roaches, these Ravagers, all getting that attack upgrade, and this third is in big trouble. It's going to get piled down. Repairs for SpeCial. Oh, just holds on to it. These tanks are just keeping him alive, but it's by a thread. He has so few minerals here to continue repairing and continue producing. He's making 8 Marines at once, but he's not able to keep up that siege tank production as well. He's got 3 factories, but only one of them spinning at a time here because of this lack of income.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue did what he needed to do perfectly in this game. He found SpeCial at the transition point, slowed him down with all this fancy harassment, the Roach drops, the Ling drops, and of course now just hammering home with the Swarmos, continuing to trade before the Marines get the critical mass. I mean, there's so few Marines left. It's just a couple of stragglers, nothing to buffer for the siege tanks.
GG, and the world champ, with a shaky start in the series, manages to close it out with a 2-1. SpeCial absolutely putting up a wonderful fight here against Rogue, and he's going to need that gumption to be able to get through Group D. It is a scary group for the non-Koreans. SpeCial already in that losers match.
A good showing, though, from the Mexican for sure. A great game 1, an unfortunate map 2, and that map 3 got weird. But great defense from SpeCial throughout. Rogue, of course, though, he recognized the situation he was in. Multiple points in that game. Even after his Ravager Ling attack stalled, the follow-up pressure was absolutely incredible. I can't wait to hear what our experts over on the couch have to say.
Our current reigning world champion, 2-1 in the very end of things. However, didn't look as clean as we may have expected coming in, of course. Joined by In Control, Mr. Tasteless, and Rodan once again. Guys, that was a bit of a closer series than I actually expected coming in.
Fantastic performance by both guys, I would say. I think SpeCial put up a heck of a fight, and at points in time looked like he might even be able to take that in all 3 of the games, and of course taking one of them. So really nice showing from him, and I think we talked about this match being kind of a barometer for like, what can we expect from Rogue, what can we expect from SpeCial? I'm excited, I want to see more.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really great series. I think it's incredible to see Rogue come back from that, but game 1, damn, SpeCial is looking really good. It's too bad he's in a group with Rogue. I mean, he did so well last year. He really delivered in this series, absolutely. We kept having these matches we think are going to be so one-sided, and they just are not turned out to be the case.
No, I love what I saw from SpeCial. I think it's very obvious. This was SpeCial playing, you know, these characteristic, kind of different off-meta builds to some degree, especially on Blue Shift, you know, walling off on the low ground, getting those Hellions out a little bit quicker. And even though he didn't see the Zerglings, it just felt like he knew exactly where they were. And I think he had a lot of good move. Definitely, I think he shocked Rogue a little bit in that first game, but I must say, especially in that last game, Rogue showed us why he is still the reigning champ of BlizzCon, because the way that he maneuvered himself out of that position, which I didn't love that much for Rogue, that was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, definitely very cool to see. And, you know, we kind of expect to see someone like Rogue eventually trying to triumph here through these brackets, going into the round of 8. And we can actually hear from Rogue and continue our conversation in a moment as we head over to the interview to hear from Rogue.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. I'm here with Rogue, and what a series, special to Game 1, but Rogue was able to take the win. So congratulations, Rogue, in this. And after being down 0-1, what were you thinking? Like, how did you feel? 우선 너무 축하드립니다. 이제 첫 번째 세트를 지셨는데 어떤 심정이 들던가요?
일단 첫 번째 세트는 제가 빌드에서 너무 크게 갈렸기 때문에 이길 수가 없는 게임이라고 생각하고 그냥 손풀기로 그냥 메카닉이라고 생각하고 찍고 했는데, 메카닉이었으면 좀 더 잘할 수 있었을 텐데 바이오닉이라서 이건 절대 이길 수가 없다고 생각했었고 그냥 손 푼다는 생각으로 게임을 했던 것 같아요.
So during game 1, I think it just because of the builds that I'd lost, and I just was okay. So I can't win this. So let's just relax and try to warm up for the next games, and that's what I thought after game 1. And let's talk about game 3, because SpeCial here had a little special build with Mech and Bio. Have you ever played against this kind of build, and how did you play? 이제 3세트 얘기를 할 텐데, 약간 스페셜 선수가 진짜로 약간 스페셜한 빌드를 가지고 왔어요. 메카랑 바이오를 섞었는데 이런 빌드를 해본 적이 있으신가요? 그리고 어떻게 경기를 풀어 나가셨나요?
저 빌드를 그냥 신영이 형이 개인 방송에서 하는 거를 본 적은 있는데 당해본 적은 없었어요. 근데 제가 올인을 막히고 저도 근데 나름 할만하다고 생각해서 몰아붙이면은 바이오닉이 갖춰지기 전에 끝낼 수 있을까라고 생각은 했는데 투드랍십에 너무 휘둘려가지고 거기서 좀 말렸던 것 같긴 한데 그래도 이겨서 너무 기분이 좋아요.
Actually, I saw this build during innovation stream, but I've never played against it. And 잠시만, 뭐라 그랬죠? 죄송합니다.
신영이 형이 한 걸 보고 제가 게임이 유리했었어가지고 그냥 몰아붙이면 이길 수 있을까라고 생각하고.
So sorry for that. So I kind of all-in, but he was able to defend it. I just kept being aggressive, and I'm relieved that it worked, that I could take the win here. So you are the defending champion, and so is there a player here that you're really looking forward to play? 작년에 우승자신데 이번에 정말 만나고 싶은 선수가 있나요?
세랄 선수랑 저그 대 저그전 한번 재밌는 경기 해보고 싶어요.
그러면은 우승할 자신 있으세요?
솔직히 지금 잘하는 선수가 너무 많아가지고 우승은 생각도 안 하고 일단 8강부터 꼭 가고 싶어요.
And I'm really looking forward to play against Sarah. I want to play some ZvT and to show what I can do. And I don't know if I can really win this tournament, but I'll try to get to the round of 8 first. So last question. So in the winners match, you will face Classic, and you won against him in Katowice 4-0. So does it make you confident? 다음 승자전에서 김도호 선수를 만나게 될 텐데 이제 카토비체에서 4-0으로 우승을 하셨어요. 그것 때문에 약간 좀 자신감 있으신가요?
근데 그게 너무 오래된 일이라서 지금은 솔직히 도우 형이 지금 너무 잘하기 때문에 좀 긴장도 많이 되고 좀 아직 확실히 이길 수 있을지는 잘 모르겠어요.
Yeah, indeed. I won against him, but it happened like really long a way ago. So, and he's playing really good right now. So I'm still nervous and I'm not sure about that. So congratulations again and best of luck against Classic, and back to you guys.
That's right. Thank you very much, and of course, congratulations to Rogue as he moves on to the winners match here. And they actually, spoke about something that I wanted to speak about with you guys as well. Game number 3. It seemed like SpeCial was in a really, really good spot going into some of the mid game. But what kind of really was the downfall for him? I want to get your guys' opinions. I'll start with you, Roddy.
Yeah, I think the hold was excellent by SpeCial.
Yeah.
It really wasn't an easy hold against all those roaches. There's a link drop in the main as well, and then Queen's being brought along in a drop lord. But I love the overreaction, just pull like 25 SCVs, because normally if you defend and you don't fall like too many workers behind, you're okay as a Terran. And I think SpeCial was okay. He was like 10, 11 workers behind after all of that. But that's the position that most Terrans will sign up for. You have 3 orbital commands. I just think after that, it really felt that Rogue went into overdrive or something, and he sort of started playing so freaking fast. Roaches run bys, dropping roaches all over the place. Like, I don't think that SpeCial played it out poorly.
Sure.
I think that's just where Rogue really showed why he is the freaking reigning champ. He played really good.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely limping through that at that point in time, but the sheer force that Rogue had, it eventually just toppled him. But again, it was a really impressive hold by SpeCial.
And even kind of against that mix of biome, mix of mech, etc., and things like that, the Swarm hosts still seem to be getting value constantly as the game's going on and on and on.
Well, it's interesting. We saw kind of the 2 different takes of Swarm hosts, right? Like Nurchio was using them, and at first it seemed like they were really powerful. There was some good. Obviously, it's a different matchup, but that 40-second cooldown means that if you're able to bounce out of there and return some damage, you're in good shape.
Yeah.
Rogue never allowed for that window of opportunity. That we saw a couple of Marine drops try to make that, and that's honestly what made this Game 3 really close and nice. But without that, the basis of Ravagers and Roaches that were kind of insulating those Swarm hosts made it that the slow kind of, and when the tanks kept getting picked off, our Aussie crew was pointing that out, it meant that there was no push-out power, and just over time he got whittled down, and that is the strength of the Swarm host.
Yeah, I just want to say that even though that final game, some people may look at it and be like, SpeCial was down like 60 or 70 supply, he's never going to win that. We're sitting here and actually on the edge of our seats, because the way that it works when you play pure Roach, Ravager, Swarm host against Bio, it's like the Bio upgrades were finishing up, they were getting more powerful, and then sometimes it's like if one wave of Locust actually does nothing, then Terran can really start snowballing and start actually growing as well. So even though the Terran player may be down 50 or 60 supply, as long as there are not some crazy transitions going on, which wasn't the case at all, that game was actually a lot closer than the supply would tell you. And I think there were moments where I was almost like, I think maybe SpeCial can bring it back now again, but in the end, Rogue just barely had enough and obviously kept the pressure on in an excellent